You're watching Views and Vibes on Paradise TV.
Now on Views and Vibes, South Florida people of color marks 10 years of tackling obstacles, ending racism, encouraging dialogue, and celebrating cultural contributions. There's nothing plain about this Jane. We spend time with a real-life game changer, Jane Kennedy. These pictures are worth thousands of words about the country's history and our place in it. Looking for love? You may want to retreat to the beach. That's the place to find the woman you want and the coach with the strategy for a winning relationship. All right, y'all. So Nikki G here with Views and Vibes on Paradise TV. And today is such a special day. We are celebrating 10 years. Well, not we, but the South Florida people of color. They're celebrating a decade.
Yes.
I'm here with the co-founder and executive director, Ronnie Bennett. How you feeling?
Man, I am feeling stressed.
Okay. So South Florida People of Color was founded in 2015.
Yes.
Yes. So what sparked the inception of this organization?
You know, why we started was that in Miami Shores Village, what we discovered that in that little town of about 10,000 families, that in Miami Shores, that it was over 50% people of color. But the political representation was all white, like America, right? And so we wanted to do something about that. So what we started doing, we formed, and the solution to that was to, bring people together and have conversations. And really, we started by teaching history, because you need to understand your history, and then you could become liberated once you know the real history. So that's how we started.
So tonight you are recognizing a few change makers in the community.
Yes.
So Senator Chevron Jones.
Yes.
The president of Barry University, Mike Allen.
Yes.
And also executive director of MoCA.
Yes, Shauna Sheldon.
Yes. So why those three distinctive individuals?
They kind of embody what we're all about as South Florida people of color.
I dedicate this award to the individuals who don't have the microphone, but they're outside doing the work. I think we are in a day and age right now where everyone has to operate in their lane, and everyone needs to respect the individuals who operate in their lane. So I'm dedicating this opportunity to them.
For us at Barry University, it's really about creating opportunity. That's what we work to do every day, is that deserving students who have the talents and the skills can find a pathway to education. And as I said, education is not only a great equalizer, it's really a great multiplier, in that an education can change people's lives, but also their families' lives for generations to come.
We All Matter is about giving everyone space for their voices. It's about leaving room for connection. Again, with MoCA, we really consider ourselves a gathering space for that dialogue. The dialogue needs to be open, so whether we agree or not, voices can be heard, conversations can be had, and we all grow and learn from each other always.
Awesome. Well, Ronnie, thank you so much. And just thanks for this organization, what you all are doing to educate and to have positive dialogue and to connect the community. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Pleasure to be here. Thank you.
To Be Sold, a powerful exhibit at Broward County's African American Research Library and Cultural Center, features art and artifacts which tell the untold stories of enslaved labor in the antebellum South. Library manager Dr. Tamika Hobbs, author Margaret Seidler, and former South Carolina State Senator Mia McLeod brings us this preview.
This is a personal story that is source documented, that uses art as a way to help people acknowledge history.
This exhibition is based on a book called Painful Business, which was written by Margaret Seidler.
The book is titled Painful Business, and the exhibition is called To Be Sold: Enslaved Labor and Slave Trading in the Antebellum South, Whichever way you identify it, the goal is to educate.
One of the things that we highlight as a part of this exhibition to be sold is the history of Gullah Geechee people. First, when we think about the agriculture in that region and the coastal areas of South Carolina, Georgia, even Florida, it was perfect for rice cultivation. It was very profitable, and these British colonists and later U.S. citizens knew that, and so they looked for Africans with expertise in rice cultivation, and they found them in West Africa in the Senegambia River Valley area. And so you have an intentional design to look for Africans who had this technical knowledge to bring them to South Carolina and other places to be able to grow this rice. And I trace my lineage to the Gullah Geechee. My family, going back generations on both my mother and father's side, trace their lineage to South Carolina. And there are many people in South Florida who have the same lineage. There are 43 different paintings, each representing 43 different areas of expertise. You have people of African descent who were experts, who were skilled, and were valued for that skill, but they never were able to see the profit of any of that work. That profit went to their owners. And so it's something to really consider, especially I think because we talk so little about slavery, and when we do, it's such a flattened narrative. What we see in John Jones's pictures, his paintings, is him breathing life into these people. They were flesh and blood just like we are. They had hopes and dreams just like we do, and they have talent, but they were never able to really reap the benefit of that talent. And you can't help but contemplate what was lost in all of that. Not only what it was like for these people to live day to day, not having control or even ownership over their own person, not having control or ownership over their own children or their fate, but not even being able to control their labor and the profit that was derived from it.
The artwork is phenomenal. I do appreciate how extreme measure was taken to humanize, those who were literally seen as property. I mean, you see words like, this family would be a great acquisition. You're acquiring humans, but to the slave master, they were mere property. So the fact that the artist took great care with humanizing those who we know historically were not seen as human. They were seen as chattel. They were property.
I hadn't really ever been interested in genealogy or history.
Author Margaret Seidler's deep dive into her past began with a DNA test. It ultimately led her to something disturbing.
I found online in the archives that my fifth great grandfather was a wealthy, well-educated merchant in Charleston on Bay Street. He brought a lot of Madeira wine from Spain and also hundreds of captive Africans through the port of Charleston. And I was devastated.
She took the information from the past and made a connection with a prominent public servant in the present.
My dad believed that he was born free. He wasn't. I didn't know that until Margaret's research revealed that. The reason that my dad believed that he was born free is because when I was in high school, before I even went to the University of South Carolina as an undergraduate, and before I went to the University of South Carolina for law school, a professor at the law school reached out to my dad and told him that he had information to share about his great-grandfather, Joseph W. Morris. I think he already knew that Joseph W. Morris was president of Allen University, one of the historically Black universities in Columbia, South Carolina, in the state of South Carolina. And he also knew that Joseph W. Morris was a scholar, a mathematician, a professor of languages. I mean, he was like a beast, even for that time.
The two women turned their historic connection into a thriving friendship. they hope the entire country can appreciate.
So for me, it wasn't ever even a thought, am I going to hide this? Like probably a lot of people who look like me might choose to do, or share it and use it for something purposeful and useful and meaningful for everybody in this country. We don't face with compassion what the past was. We will never be able to be strong together as a country. And y'all might say,
if you want to learn more information, you can visit our website at arlic.broward.org. You can also email us at arlic@broward.org.
The exhibition will remain on display until December 27th.